Artist Jean-Michel Basquiat, a leader in the neo-expressionist movement in the 1980s, once said, "I don't listen to what art critics say. I don't know anybody who needs an art critic to tell them what art is." Basquiat's work and influence is found everywhere in modern culture today. This includes references and songs by famous artists such as Jay-Z and A$AP Rocky, collaborations with brands such as Coach and Doc Martens, and even as inspiration for Brooklyn Nets 2020-2021 city jersey. I'm a longtime fan of Basquiat. I have seen 3 full-length documentaries depicting his life and career. I own 2 of his biographies. I own several articles of clothing depicting his artwork, and I have seen several of his paintings in person throughout museums in the United States. Today I'm going to talk about the rise of fame of Jean-Michel Basquiat as an artist, his accomplishments in the art world, and his legacy after his death. First, I will start by exploring Basquiat's rapid rise to fame in the early 1980s. By his early 20s, Jean-Michel's name had become well known in both America and across the globe. He began pursuing art after dropping out of high school at the age of 17 years old, and began gaining a following as an artist for his work as Samo, according to the author Emmerling in his 2015 book, Basquiat. He began spray painting poetic and cryptic messages throughout New York City streets and remained anonymous throughout this time, gaining a lot of intrigue on his identity. His artwork became well known after a group show in 1980, and soon after, figures like lead singer of Blondie began purchasing his work. By the time he was 21 years old, Basquiat had begun to make a name for himself in the art world. He was featured in the Artforum article The Radiant Child by René Ricard, and his work began being shown in solo shows throughout Soho, New York, like the prestigious Mary Boone Gallery, according to the author Holsworth in his 2018 book, also titled Basquiat. Soon he was able to secure his own art studio and his own art dealer named Larry Gagosian. By 1982, he was featured in 6 solo shows throughout the globe and became the youngest artist featured in Documenta, which is an art extravaganza held every 5 years in Kassel, Germany. Once Jean-Michel had made a name for himself, his popularity skyrocketed as he made countless achievements within the art world. His career includes many accomplishments and feats never seen before in the contemporary art world at the time, and he became a champion for Black representation in a white-dominated market. As a child, he noticed few Black subjects in artwork featured at the Brooklyn Museum, and being that he was of Puerto Rican and Haitian descent, he wished to change this. He brought never-before-seen representation to the market, and his paintings often featured Black subjects and celebrities such as Muhammad Ali, Dizzy Gillespie, and Sugar Ray Robinson. He collaborated with superstar artist Andy Warhol between 1984 and 1986, according to Art Story in 2021. He and Warhol collaborated on numerous occasions. In fact, in 1985, the pair had debuted their works at the exhibition at the Tony Shafrazi Gallery. Basquiat had reached celebrity status at this point. As stated in the documentary The Radiant Child in 2011, Basquiat had gone from being broke and homeless to accumulating a net worth of around $10 million. He was featured in the New York Times article as the hot young artist of the 1980s and was acquainted with several celebs such as Madonna, Keith Haring, and Debbie Harry. Even after Jean-Michel's tragic death at 27 from a heroin overdose, the name Basquiat still is, if not more, relevant. His artwork is still breaking records in the art world. In fact, in his work Untitled from 1982 became the highest paid artwork ever sold at American auction, which sold for $110.5 million to Japanese billionaire Yusaku Maezawa in 2017. His painting Warrior, also from 1982, sold for $41.9 million in Hong Kong in 2021 this year. This makes it the most expensive Western artwork ever sold in Asia. He stars in several films depicting his life and achievements, such as the biopic Basquiat, released in 1996, which starred Jeffrey Wright, Michael Wincott, and Benicio del Toro. Documentaries such as The Radiant Child and Boom for Real have also been made depicting his life and career, and several clothing collaborations with Coach, Reebok, Doc Martens, and Target have depicted clothing with his artwork on it, which I actually own. This is the Target collaboration, which features his name. A common theme, which is dinosaurs and childlike drawings with the crown above them. And also, the Brooklyn Nets modeled their 2020-2021 city jerseys after his work, which donned several Basquiat symbols and famous crowns. Overall, there truly is no other artist throughout history with a story like Jean-Michel Basquiat. He overcame the racial barriers and poverty of the 1980s era New York City and made a name for himself among a rich and white dominated industry. Basquiat, through hard work and belief in his vision, launched his work into the mainstream and changed the art world forever. Thank you.